It's that time of year again, where all the biggest brands in shooting join together at the NEC in Birmingham for everybody to come and have a look. There's 211 stands. I love this place. Today we're going to be checking out the latest releases of shotguns. I would go as far as to say it is the best production gun Browning have ever made. Rifles, accessories, thermals, and much more.
I tell you what, this actually feels really nicely put together.
And more importantly, seeing all my friends and having a great time. Let's go, guys. You've already had a look around.
I've had a look around and it is bigger and better and more British than it's ever been before.
I am properly excited, to the point that I actually read through the guide before getting here, see what it's about, see what releases are on, and we're going to share all that with you today.
Have a look at this wall. It's impressive. I can't wait.
Shall we?
Should we go and have a look?
Let's go. Benelli have run Advanced Impact for about a year?
Yep.
Could you talk us through that?
We start overbore in a cone, and then it's cylinders, widens again, and then it's got a 10 centimeter internal choke or a 12 centimeter external extended choke. That's with a normal barrel, and that's with Advanced Impact. Same cartridge. All our chokes are steel proof, so you can shoot any choke, all 5 chokes with steel, which is something very good.
Benelli being one of the biggest or most commonly used duck hunting guns in the world.
Exactly.
Pretty handy.
Very handy. We can accelerate the steel pellets up to 13 meters per second faster with the Advanced Impact barrel.
Over just a common or garden barrel.
Just even a normal Benelli barrel. So it's not just the competitors, it's our own barrels, our own competitors. We tested against ourselves. And we can shoot lead up to 20 meters per second faster.
So you're getting more downrange speed.
We're getting more speed, more penetration, and more distance. The lead is going to be banned. With our steel shot, we've got similar ballistics to lead, so it's very important for hunters to have the same quality shooting from a Benelli with steel or lead shot.
And those barrels are going to come on the 828U now?
They're on the 828U and the Raffaello range. I think in the future we will extend to other models. Raffaello limited edition.
The pretty Raffaello.
It's very beautiful. We put the Advanced Impact barrels on. It's a limited range, 1,000 guns. They're all numbered. We have all our technology in this gun, from the progressive comfort system, which reduces recoil depending on what shot you shoot. So it's not always reduced the same.
If you're shooting an ounce load, you don't really need it, right?
Exactly. So to get back on target quicker, it's carbon fiber rib. It's a wonderful gun. It's one of our top of the range.
And the best finish is pretty indestructible from my understanding.
The best finish is painted by Benelli. It's guaranteed 25 years against rust.
Wow.
It's scratch proof. It is absolutely beautiful.
I want that on every gun. Just want to say.
It's 2 steps above the DLC finish. It's diamond-like carbon. So it is pretty indestructible.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's our newest release from Zolly. The Nobile, which obviously the gun is based on, has been around for a while now. Predominantly a game gun as it came to the market, but in the UK,
it doesn't feel like a game gun.
It doesn't. So it's had a little bit of a new twist on it for this particular model. We're noticing, I'm sure obviously you have as well, that sub-gauge shooting is becoming a lot more popular.
I think people are enjoying it whilst we can.
Exactly. So what we've sort of tried to do, obviously, with the Nobile is turn it from a bit of a game gun into more of a hybrid sporter that you can use on sub-gauge days.
This is a 32-inch Forte.
It is.
With a long tapered rib that weighs in at what? It's got to be every part of high 7s, low 8s.
Yeah, I mean, they vary in weight between sort of 7, 10 and 8 pounds. Obviously, depending on density of wood and that sort of stuff. And Reason being is, like I say, a lot more people, as we know, are using 410s for competition guns now as well.
Yep.
For obviously the 410, you know, British Open, etc. So what we've done is effectively built a 410 on a 20 gauge action. It also makes it a little bit more future proof. So obviously it's built as a 410. You can get additional sets of barrels for it for 20, 28. You know, obviously, so you can go up and down the gauges if you wish to.
Perfect. So you could get a full barrel set 20 through 410
Absolutely.
on this little thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah. How we've designed it is more of a sporting setup in the stock, sporting rib.
Yeah, but that sporting feel of gun is coming into the game market.
Absolutely,
because
yeah.
they're designed to be easy to shoot.
Well, that's it. I mean, even for the 12 gauges, people are, you know, using sporting guns on high driven pheasant days now.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why we designed the feel like that. A lot of 410s when they're built on a 410 action, just too light with
It's £6, and that's really nice sometimes,
Yeah.
but are harder to shoot. Certainly if you just use a 12 gauge all the time and move
Exactly.
over to it, it's incredibly difficult
Going
to
to be a
learn that.
much easier transition. You know, we know this isn't going to be people's everyday gun, so it's normally a second gun that they're wanting to buy, and the easier the transition from 12 to 410, the better. You know,
Yeah,
and it's very intuitive to shoot for that reason.
Shoots like 12 bore, but you get the righteous boastability of being able to say,
Exactly.
I'm only shooting 18
Yeah.
grams. Honestly, I'd love to get one of these down for a full film and actually see what it's
100%.
all about. What
Yeah,
a
yeah.
cool thing. Pretty good. How much is it?
So it's 3795.
That's really not
Full
actually
retail.
that bad.
No, absolutely not. It still comes with the full 10-year mechanical warranty,
Detachable trigger?
detachable trigger group, the whole shebang.
That's good value.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
expecting it to be, I don't know, another grand or two high, given
Yeah,
that a lot of Zolly guns do run that way.
Yeah. So yeah, we've tried to keep it sort of price conscious in mind. To, you know, like I say, a lot of people use it as a second gun. You know, and the value that it is at, you know, sub that £4,000 mark. You know, still with the 10-year mechanical warranty, still with the silver solid barrels, all the same Zolly spec that you get across the range of guns, but obviously just in a miniature form.
Johnny, we're here at the Caesar Guarini stand,
Which is as big and impressive as ever.
and what have we got? An Invictus 3, but what's the main difference?
I need to outline first that it is the same price as all other Invictus 3s, but it's got a 15 and 3/8 inch stock as standard.
Oh, finally something that's getting in towards your length.
It's the bane of anybody over 6 foot is that you have to put spaces in the back of a gun. And from my perspective, gun makers, it doesn't take them much more work to make a longer stock. So it's nice to see someone back in action just offering a longer spec as standard. They don't even have to ask for it. They will be a stock item. And so finally, just finally, 15 and 3/8 inch, which is a touch short, but it's way more manageable than 14 and a half.
And comedically long for me.
Nah, you'll manage. Come on, you like a good length. You know, I love these Invictuses anyway. I think they're one of the most bomb-proof actions out there. I like the way they're put together. I like the grips. I like the spec of them. Right, they're designed in conjunction with some of the best shooters in the world, and so they're put together in a good way. It's not designed by a board of non-shooters. And so every time I pick one up, I'm like, yeah, we could have fun with that. And the fact they know I could have fun with it properly, nearly, I like that a lot.
Look, we know they work. We've got one of the best shooters in the world that shoots a Caesar Guarini, Richard Folds.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. What do we got on the side here? Dragons, wizards, and
Golden mythical creatures. Golden mythical creatures adorning it. That deep scroll, which I think is nice. You've got beautiful double beading around the sides. I just think it's a cool gun. Like it's gothic in its design almost. I like it.
I love it. We're here at Browning. It's 100 years of Browning, Johnny.
100 years of Browning over and under, which is particularly cool. The year that they have released this, the 825, and this is my favourite spec by far. It is the Pro Sport. I would go as far as to say it is the best production gun Browning have ever made.
Now, this is my first touch of it, but I know you shot this in France earlier in the year.
I did at Domaine de Saint-Tricourt at their launch party, and I mean, what a way to sort of test it out for the first time. There's a recipe that makes a good gun, and shooters have been working towards developing what that looks like for some time. But we'd had to buy a gun and get it customized or buy high-end custom guns. All those features are now coming down into guns that are just production. It's great. Comfortable palm swells, balancing systems,
Yeah.
guns that feel super shootable out of the box, and they've always felt great. But I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a lot of the modern guns feel better and better and better.
This, you just naturally pick it up and it feels like a gun you could shoot.
Yeah,
This
good.
is the recipe. Adjustable comb, 32-inch barrels.
6 chokes, you get one every 5,000, so you can really fine tune it. They understand that it's a production gun, right? So inherently there's going to be some internal differences with the bore. And that can be by, not a lot, but a few thou. So why not have chokes that vary by a few thou so you can really fine tune your setup to give you the best performance for you? Makes sense.
This barrel to action transition it's sexy.
I tell you, it took me a little while to sort of, because it's not a Browning. It doesn't look like that conventional Browning the way they've done it for years and years and years. But I think the reality is it actually looks better.
Every time you look at it, you find something new in this little stippled finish.
It's stunning, right? And they could have covered it all, but then it would have just been a bit loud. It's perfect. From the side, it looks not too much. You flip it over, and it's like raw. It's got so much going on for it. You've got the John Browning signature on the fore end, the laser checkering.
Nice to see an adjustable trigger out of the box.
3-position adjustable, so you've got 3 locking positions on there. You can choose forward, mid, and back. I genuinely think this is a winner, and I can't say that highly enough. The 725 Pro Sport, I liked it, but it was all just a bit too big. This is a dynamic gun.
Amber leaf knives. We've come to have a look at some of the absolutely beautiful handcrafted knives that they make. I personally have noticed this one here, Dean.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain a little bit about it for me?
It's a Garand V2, so we make this in various specs. The Garand V2 is like a really solid all-rounder, crosses the bridge between sort of hunting and bushcraft and utility. This particular one is in a 1500 layer Damascus steel, and it's one of 2 ever made, and the handle is a 2.2 million year old Madagascan amber. So this particular knife is a £1,500 project. Something like that takes a master bladesmith 3 or 4 days to make. As like I say, it's a 1500 layer steel, so it's 2 steels forged together and folded in 1500 times, and then etched in an acid.
You obviously don't do just exclusively super expensive knives. You do stuff for the everyday use.
They're few and far between, right? The reality is, the cheapest knife we make is 430 quid. That includes VAT, postage, sheath, lifetime warranty, the whole shebang. This particular one is a Kale. This is in desert ironwood. It's £450 all in, and it's made with the same love, care and attention as the high end, but obviously the materials aren't as fancy, and it's going to have just the same warranty as those, but you can use this and use it every day, and that's what it's for. It has to last 125 years. So that's the sort of compact you make, and that's why we're trusted to make for other bigger brands that are much older than us. This is why the strapline for us is a knife for life, and we genuinely mean it. And it's like, as long as you want that knife to exist, it will exist.
We've just been to the Cambrian bird stand and both entered to win 2 pegs at Pennell, one of the highest, most extreme cool shoots in the country.
If you share the day with me, I'll let you win.
You've not been. It's pretty good.
I'm looking forward to winning it. To be fair, I think it's already won. Are you going to win the other peg?
I think it's more legitimate if you win it and then we share it. If I win it, which I've entered completely fairly, and it's a random number generator, it's probably a bit cheeky. Much bigger stand this year, mate. Very impressive.
Yeah.
But you've been expanding.
Everything's been expanding, so stand's got to expand with it. We've got the playground, also got Lake Widdergarth.
Got butcher shop.
Got a butcher shop.
That's pretty cool.
Got a car garage. So
You're a car garage.
Yeah.
Cambrian is buying Wales.
taking over Wales slowly but surely. Sign up to our mailing list and you can win 2 pegs at Pennell.
On a 400 bird day, no less. It's quite a
400 bird day.
serious deal from my experience.
So that will be for the 25-26 season,
Exactly.
I presume?
Yeah. Season coming up. So yeah, definitely worth entering. So
Definitely.
Johnny's entered, Bruce has entered. So
Legitimately entered.
legitimately entered.
What new releases we got this year then?
From the Fab Arm stable, we've got our Autumn Elite. So 20 bore, slightly updated take on the Autumn action, previously colour case hardened, this time
We've
coin
gone
finish.
for a more Italian looking, more modern, clean looking gun.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it looks nice. It's a big 20 bore, right? That's not a diss. I think that's actually quite a nice thing.
Yeah.
And a scalloped rib as standard. We've gone for a
standard.
proper classic feel.
Yeah.
This is going to be steel proofed all the way to full choke in 20 gauge as well.
Like all Fab Arms, yeah, over pressure tested, 1630 bar, so you can put steel, high performance steel through all of their chokes.
If if you felt the need
If
to
you
do
feel
so,
the need
right?
to, yes.
It's always
Yeah.
worth pattern plating
Yeah.
that concept, I would
Yeah.
say, before committing to it. But the fact that you can,
Yeah.
just more of like a peace of mind thing.
Correct. Yeah. Well, it's overpressure tested, so you know these barrels are incredibly strong, and Fabarm have been doing this with their HP steel-proof barrels for years and years and years.
It's quite a
So,
special thing.
It is, yeah.
Guys, we're on the Holland Outdoor stand, and we've got a new gun.
So it's in its prototype stage. This is the one that we've brought to the UK to test. The main models have all gone to the USA. It's been produced mainly for the USA.
Okay.
But due to feedback we've had at the little shows and little demo days I've done,
Somebody's going to like it.
yeah, we've seen customers want a high rib, adjustable.
And it's got one of these.
bring one in. Yeah, DT detachable trigger.
All right, can I have a... Oh, look at this.
Very simple. That's it.
And
Back in
then
again.
you press the button down.
Press the button in, safety all the way forward, and then remove the trigger at the same time. There you go. Nice and
Hey,
simple.
that's quite cute, isn't it? Hey, that's really quite nice.
So main reason.
Surprisingly well-built trigger unit, actually.
It is. The main reason for us, obviously, for the UK side of things, is security. Guys can remove the trigger when they're travelling. Guys in the US from the competition, as you know, easy replaceable springs, easy replaceable hammers, all that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
why not, right? And
Absolutely.
just keeping one spare in the bag and you got your gun back on the road like that.
Yes.
For what, a £1,600 price tag is
Yeah.
extremely affordable. Can you talk us through it, other than the detachable trigger?
From the back end, you've got adjustable butt pad in length of pull, cant, pitch, all the different dimensions
the
you need to go.
stuff, yeah.
Absolutely. Traditional adjustable comb, up, down, left and right. And then moving through, you've got the adjustable rib. So that'll adjust your point of impact. So you can go from 60-40, 50-50, 50-40, 50-60, absolutely whatever you prefer as your top pattern. And then obviously...
That's a hell of a
your
lot
points
of
impact.
features for a £1,600 retail as well.
Absolutely, yeah. As I said, predominantly built for the US, and we're just basically stripping some production to the
It's a
UK.
trap gun, right?
Exactly.
It's all
Yeah,
through,
exactly.
through and through a trap gun.
And in the US, it'll come with the under single barrel as well as the combination.
Trigger's really
That's
nice.
not bad, are they?
That's actually really
bad.
good.
Yeah.
I tell you what, this
So triggers.
actually feels really nicely put together.
It is, yeah. New factory for us. We had to pivot a little bit. One of the factories that we produce with, we can't send their guns to the US, so I needed trap and sporting guns. So we've
Okay.
gone out, found a new factory, and produced.
And so how does
new
that
models.
work? You're sending them the spec, because obviously
Yes.
English name, Turkish build.
Yep, yeah. So we send them the spec. They'll do a first sample for us, and then they'll produce the second samples, and then basically we'll go into production in a very, very short, compact way of describing it.
Spec aside, the way it opens and closes the trigger
Lovely, isn't it?
feels way better than some of the other
Very
Turkish
nice.
guns, for sure. That's really nicely finished. Welcome to the Blaser stand, Bruce, and one of the most exciting launches of the show, the new Blaser FBX. We did a full launch video on this, how it's built, all that kind of stuff, but nothing like getting your hands on it.
This is one that I have been waiting weeks for. New Blaser, isn't it? It's not the F16, it's not the F3. This is
Better.
This is the creme de la crop. They've got it right.
This is Blaser taking everything they know about gun making, which is some of the best engineering on the market, fully interchangeable parts. Like, there is pretty much zero hand fitting on this gun. It just goes together because the engineering tolerances are so high. And then going out and looking at the world of hyper competitive guns from all the other gun makers and saying, we like these bits, let's bring them in, mix them with what we know, and bosh. The new flagship Blaser, the FBX.
4 in balancing weights.
Yeah, but they're slung low inside the forend body.
Oh,
not below.
instead of being on the actual
low
midriff.
centre of
Yeah.
gravity,
Yep.
right in the hand weight. Which we're talking minuscule differences here, but it's the difference between like really good and really, really good. Is putting those weights low in the hand, putting the weight exactly where it should be. Fully interchangeable barrels, all that kind of thing, will come as they get released, of course. Sub gauge is a works, but for now, I just think it's a really fine clay shooting gun. On top of that, Blaser are giving a gun away at the British Shooting Show, so if you weren't here, you wouldn't have the opportunity. We're going to go and enter that right now for an F16 game.
Johnny came over and did a video, a factory tour.
Yeah.
And had a full custom stock made. There's also another option for the 4D stock. Do you want to run through that with me?
Yeah, we have two different options for custom stocks at Blaser. There's the full custom stocks, which we have seen in the video of Johnny, where you come to the factory, and then we have the option for the 4D custom stock. And this is a custom stock reduced on the most important 4 measurements, which is length of pull, drop, cast, and pitch angle, and these measurements can be taken by the dealer or our subsidiary, and then we just connect our measuring sheet to the order, and the gun will come with the specific measurement.
Ed, what's new from Edwards Eyewear?
Well, we've got the Hiroki 2s, which you're very familiar with.
Incredibly.
That is the amethyst lens filtration, which I think you pretty much live in.
That's my favourite. I just feel very comfortable in it.
Yeah, that's been developed for like generic killing green backgrounds and making oranges pop. So a lot of orange targets, green background.
Pretty
in the
low
UK.
intensity lens as well, which is really nice.
It's
And it's got a reflective front.
Yeah, so the ready to wears have got a like super cool anti-reflective coating, as have all the new lenses.
That makes total sense. I don't wear
looks
ready to
good.
wears. That's really unfortunate.
Exactly,
That's why
yeah.
I don't know this.
You've got a prescription one, so it'd be slightly different.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the ready to wear stuff now has got a new updated coatings on the lenses.
It's
which are
pretty cool.
Really, really cool. This is the gold polar, which you were looking at earlier on.
Yeah,
to make
they
it look
jump
sexy.
straight off. That's super cool.
Swap you out.
You know, these, if you're going to go like,
If you
full
want to go
badass.
like Colombian drug lord, which I think is very much a big
It's
part
well
of
in
your
fashion
gig,
currently,
isn't it?
yes.
That's the pair. That's what I pretty much live in. So
yeah, they're
mid to
proper
bright
cool.
light. That's
Yeah,
cool for me. Polarized, so good for driving, good for fishing, good for shooting. For me, a good all-round pair of sunnies. And then this covers off the mid-light range. Then we've got the lower light options, the Lagunas, cadmiums, 8 filtrations, covers all the bases.
Yeah, speak to them and they'll sort out.
Come by, yeah, we'll be in.
The intelligent stuff as to what's actually best.
I don't know about that. If you want the intelligent stuff, you need to be speaking to him. But I'm just a thick one who holds the
You're just
glasses
here
and
to
talks to you.
shoot,
We're here at the RNS Douglas taxidermy stand with Tom, the taxidermist, and he's just going to run through a bit of this fantastic gear he's got here this weekend. I personally have purchased this little fella. We don't know what we're going to name him yet, but he will get a name. Do you want to run me through what it is, Tom?
So this is a copy of the English record roebuck, which is non-Bailey roebuck, scoring 221 CIC. That's another copy I made on a skull. And then Bruce asked me, could he have a big roebuck mount to take back home? So I gave him the biggest one I could do.
You're also doing a bit of a taxidermy display, as in you are performing taxidermy at the show
Yeah,
this
I'm
weekend?
doing live demos all weekend at the show, like I do every year. So doing a mount each day, so that should be good.
Now, a lot of the people come in here and think this is all fantastic taxidermy, but it must be just for display. Is it all for sale?
Everything on the stand is for sale, unless it's already sold, like Bruce's one.
Sam, not long ago there was a statement put out by the government with actual legislation for the phase out of lead ammunition. We've got 5 years from the point they put that in, which isn't quite yet. How are the cartridge companies feeling about that?
So we started with the Hydra Wad, which we've introduced throughout our steel game range, which is
It is fantastic.
we've had great feedback in a 32 gram 4 or 3 and even a 3-inch and 20 gauge as well now, which has gone down really well. We're working on new materials for a secondary wad, which will reduce the degradation time. So we're hopeful to sort of launch something sort of within the next year or so.
Big question on everyone's lips, sub-gauge. Are we going to be seeing some 410 bismuth, that kind of thing being developed?
Yeah, we hope to do 410 bismuth this year actually, yeah, that's one. So
Is it possible to make 410 steel shells? I know there's one company in America that does it, but I'm guessing it's harder with CRP than SAMI.
it would be, yes, it'd be tricky to find a payload that would suit the quarry or the clear pigeon for that. But we'll be starting with bismuth and then we'll go from there really. But it'd be good, yeah.
Hopefully.
20 gauge, we've got two 20 gauge options as well. We've got a 70mm and a 76mm 20 gauge.
So starting with the 12, sorting that out, and then slowly bringing that down through
20,
the lines.
yeah, 16 gauge too. So 16 gauge we've covered.
Are we going to see any tungsten, or is that not something that's on your horizon? You're working really hard to get steel as the main driver.
Yeah, that's right. We have been asked for tungsten actually, and I think it would pair quite well with the Hydra Wad as well.
Oh yeah, I mean that would be, because I've shot that Hydra Rod lead 32.5 and it is an unbelievable shell.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Imagine putting tungsten in there. It would be like an actual rocket of death.
That's correct, yeah. It would be devastating, yeah.
Devastatingly expensive as well, no doubt.
That's right, yeah.
You know,
yeah. It is a few pound more than bismuth, which is already quite punchy in price. Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to treat yourself and have the best of the best, tungsten is quite special. And
Yes, yeah.
I mean, imagine tungsten 410s. I mean, they already exist. It'd be really cool to see them from you guys.
It would, yeah. It would be a challenge to load such a thing, but who knows?
Mate, I know we've got a few plans for the year with a few little videos testing some of the steel loads for clays, given that that's something that's going to be coming in 5 years. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you do now, but I'm also really looking forward to seeing what you guys produce over the next 5 years. It's already been quite a good 5 years of development. 5 years more won't hurt, right?
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, we look forward to bringing out new products for the market, yeah.
Because I've got the oyster mushrooms that will give that lovely.
I'm starting to get a little tired. Like, this is a really intense experience. If you stop and actually take some time on a stand.
Have a look around, yeah.
I'm about to go on the Bretta stand. I've walked past this a couple of times. It's like a fairground looking thing. It's one of the most beautiful stands here.
Every time we come near it, there's something else catches your eye, and we've got to go see this, we've got to go see that.
It's worth just stopping and taking your time. And I've loved this show for, what, 14 years I've probably been for now?
Wow.
Like, since before it was here. This is a pretty crazy place. Congratulations once again. It's about the 16th time I've said that.
Yep.
I think gold medals are worthy of congratulations. You're obviously not proud of them because you're Australian.
No.
Just bitter still.
It's an achievement.
News of the month is you've moved on to an SL2.
I have indeed.
Bruce, you've never seen one, and so I'm going to step away and you can tell Bruce all about it because I've made a film of one of these.
Then you explain it, I reckon.
Goes bang, doesn't it? How are you finding it?
Initial thoughts, I've shot about 500 clays for it so far.
This is very fresh to you.
Yeah, 100%. Sort of like the last couple of weeks, I've only just picked up the gun to start back training, so.
And what does training look like for you? When you
normal training's 2 or 3 times a week, maybe 4 times a week, depending on where we're at in the season. Shooting around anywhere between 75 clays and 150 to 200 clays, absolute max.
Because you're not going to burn out, then you're just wanging the gun.
Exactly, yeah. So all my training's got to be like full process through, and there's a reason behind all of it. It's not just picking up the gun, going to shoot targets, because that does no one any good.
Bruce, first impressions?
I've never held one, and I've been waiting for this show to get my hands on one. And happens to be the first one that I touch is your gun.
It's
How
pretty cool.
impressive is that? Sleek looking bit of kit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very like sporty, isn't it? It's like a new sports car in comparison.
It's got, like, it's fit. It's just fit. I don't have much more to say about it. I love it. I think it looks beautiful. It's got, like, whatever it is that appeals to people about boats and cars, it's got that.
Yeah,
it's got
100%.
lines, it's curvy.
Yeah, I love the way it shoots. It moves. It's quite reactive, a little bit quicker than my DT11, I feel, which I quite like. Different, perhaps slightly better vision over the gun because you haven't got the shoulders that the DT's got. And just little bit more reactive. Recoil is super light, and it hits super hard as well. The new choking system, forcing cone system.
It's pretty much recoilless.
Yeah.
In my head, when I shot one next to a DT11 back to back, and I didn't think the DT was bad.
No.
But this is on another level.
Yeah, 100%, and that can only be good for performance and.
Yeah, right.
For sure. Recoil's not a good thing, so as much as you can lose
is sexy forend.
The whole thing's a good looking
I know.
thing.
It just is.
Mate, thank you very much.
No worries,
I'm
thank
sure
you.
We'll see you throughout the year.
Pleasure to meet you.
And you, nice to see you.
It's pretty, isn't it? I saw this on Instagram a couple of weeks ago. What a cool concept.
Absolutely, yes. It's an addition to the Siren range, developed for female shooters.
Based upon the Artco underneath.
It is based on the Invictus Artco action, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the new top of the range ladies or Siren gun.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very pretty, right?
Yeah. Slight subtle tweaks that you probably wouldn't necessarily notice straight away. You've got an alloy trigger plate on this gun as well. So as opposed to the steel previously, you won't necessarily notice it to see.
I was going to say, colour-wise, it matches perfectly, which is nice. Usually when they stick a bit of alloy in a gun, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. So it just takes a bit of weight out of the action.
To be fair, and still balances exceptionally, right?
Yeah.
That's a proper cool thing. Not that I am a lady, and so it's not really applicable to me.
Not necessarily, no.
I do like the purple.
Yes. Yeah. It's subtle as well.
Could you get it with a man stock on it, if you fancy the purple?
Essentially, yes. Yeah, because the heading is no different for the standard Invictus stock. So yeah, absolutely.
It's a touch, a few £100 more than an Invictus 3, right?
Yeah, so you're just a touch under 6.5 with this, but as I say, you have got slight tweaks to this particular model. You have got the alloy in the action as well. We have also introduced titanium chokes, just to take a little bit of weight out the muzzle end.
That explains why it balances quite so well, potentially, because you've lost a few ounces out the front.
Yes, and they are incredibly light.
They're very
well.
pretty as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And these will be available throughout the range as well?
Yeah, they're standard Maxxis chokes, so they'll fit all of the Guarini range.
Oh, that's kind of cool, right? Yeah. It's nice to see, I think, manufacturers investing in their own choking systems, because aftermarket chokes are great, but it's also nice just to use ones that came with it, right?
Yeah.
Not have to upgrade.
Yeah, and it all goes with the siren element. The gun is designed from the ground up, that the balance for lady shooters, because they didn't introduce these chokes with any other model. It was done with this because they wanted to take a bit of weight out of the muzzle end.
Because if you change something, you've got to change something else, otherwise you're just creating a bit of a pig.
Exactly, yeah.
And you want this to be
don't want
competitive.
that. No,
Which it will be.
From the ground up, this one.
Right, that's really nice. Where to next?
Maybe we'll go see some optics, some thermals.
Yeah, right. Again, another thing that's really handy to touch and feel.
Absolutely. If you're going to spend that sort of money on an item for hunting, you definitely want to put your hands on it before you purchase.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Rightio.
We're here playing with thermal with Stu. Stu, we've been filming together at the British Shooting Show for like 7 years now.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah. It's been a long old
Wasn't
career
your
together.
first video?
At the British.
It was the SIG,
With the SIG Sauer
air
when
gun.
you,
yeah, I found that the other day. That was wild.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a long time
That is
ago.
proper back in the day.
Here we are. This is the future.
This is a Falcon 2.0. I played with the Falcon last year.
Falcon
year before.
2.0, yeah.
It's bigger. Or is that
Yeah.
just because it's the 50? It's the 50. That'd be why.
Yeah, so it's our flagship thermal monocular and the sort of rebirth of the Falcon series. So the original Falcon was really popular. We've added some key new features into this new model.
And they are what?
So the first one that you've already missed is hidden under the lens cap. So this is the integrated laser rangefinder.
That's why it looks so big.
We've never offered it on a Falcon before.
It makes a lot of sense.
So
I mean, why not?
yeah, so the design of this with its tube style, it's more comfortable to hold.
Super easy.
It's easy to fit into a pocket.
Plus you can, sounds silly, the Habrocks are great, but they take up a lot of face.
Yeah, they do.
Those you can just bang it on one eye
Face
with the
space.
rifle in the other. Like it is more dynamic to use one of these, although there's obvious benefits to having.
Yeah, well the Habrocks
binoculars.
got the optical channel button as well.
Which is pretty sick.
Yeah, so this is a pure thermal monocular. The other big changes, this is shutterless. So, you know, as you're using a monocular,
it does the refresh
and
thing.
then everything freezes.
That's what that is.
Yeah, that's your shutter.
I had no idea.
So you don't get that.
I thought it was refreshing or something.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is, but it has
Okay.
to freeze to do that.
Okay.
This
will
doesn't.
never do that.
No.
That's great, because that's probably, I think, for me, the most annoying thing about all thermals is when it does that
Yeah,
at the wrong time.
especially in a scope. So our new Stella does exactly the same thing. No refresh, just carry on
I mean,
shooting.
I can't imagine in a scope what would happen if it froze and you're like, I am the
Just about to take a shot.
the steadiest rifle shot in the world. That's the picture.
Yeah.
Had that deer stop dead still.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be hugely.
And then it starts
unfortunate.
again and the animal's running away. Yeah, that's
that
just
would
what you
be,
don't want. And the other major upgrade for this model is the jog focus.
What a sensible idea.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
single-handing it is better.
yeah,
Period. It's just better.
yep.
It's actually important to note that you know exactly what they are. You sell them. I know what they are. I use them. But there's a lot of people who don't really understand the basics of a thermal optic.
Correct.
Could you talk me through the differences quickly between the cheapest one I can get and the best one I can get?
Okay, cheap. Most expensive doesn't always mean best. A lot of it is down to how you're going to use it,
Okay.
what you're going to use it for, and also how much you're going to use it. I.e., are you a gamekeeper that's out every single day in all types of weather?
Shooting foxes at 400 yards.
That sort of thing, yeah, apparently. And then also your kind of recreational stalker who goes out, I don't know, once a month, once every couple of months,
Yeah.
but really appreciates his kit and has a nice rifle and a nice day scope, but actually wants something very, very good for maybe more long range stuff.
Maximising his stalk.
100%, yeah.
Let's say you go for a stalk, you're out once a month as a casual recreational stalker, chuck your thermal on, sit in a high seat for another couple of hours. You never know what's going to walk out.
Absolutely, you're not going to blank,
Hopefully
are
a
you?
fox, right?
Yeah, something that you're allowed to shoot. Yeah. But they start from with the 60mm range. I mean, we do thermals from just under £2,000. Thermal scopes from just under £2,000 from Pulsar. So that is Italian. So you've got single battery, a 384 by 288 resolution sensor.
I remember when you released that last year before.
I think it was year before.
Yeah. That was, Ryan looked at it on the show. It was really good.
It was like it's much more compact, whereas these.
Yeah, it looked very much more traditional.
Yes.
Less LRF-y stuff bolted to the top.
So yeah, no laser rangefinder that these have. Obviously, you can see this on top. These have a bigger lens. They're a bigger chassis. The new ones now have a newer rear end, which is a much higher resolution eyepiece. So that's got a much. It's got a bigger eye box basically. So you've got
screen.
Yeah, much bigger screen, which gives you a better picture, but also gives you better eye relief as well.
Which has proved an issue with certain thermal optics with high recoiling rifles.
Correct. I do believe you've got experience of that.
Unfortunately so.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting to know one a little bit better, to be fair. We've got a bit of a project in mind. Mm-hmm. And well, that's all you get to know about that for now. As well as all these trade exhibitors, there is also dozens and dozens of gun retailers to support them. So the guns you see on the stands, equipment you see on the stands, you can pick up at the retailers around. But I've just come off of the Barbary stand introducing DC to them because he was after a DT11 and they had a second-hand one, so hopefully something will go on there and how I've left them alone. I love this place. There's 211 stands. 3 days sometimes doesn't feel enough, if you are actually looking. Every year Browning launch a range of limited editions. This year is 100 years of over and under for Browning. What do we got?
So to celebrate, we brought out 2 new models, only 100 of each. We've got the XS anniversary here.
So that's actually a good investment.
Yeah. As you can see on the trigger guard, written 1 of 100. Each one's written 1 of 100. But
that's cool.
Yeah, we've got the game guns and the XS Pro, both 525 actions. XS is your traditional XS with your titanium Invector Plus. But yeah,
that's a really pretty thing.
Stunning, absolutely stunning.
I appreciate that underneath it's just an Ultra XS, but it's not just an Ultra XS.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
It's a super successful platform.
That's it.
Pretty much indestructible and extremely shootable.
Absolutely.
And up until very recently, I would have said what they're going to go for, but I love that 825. That new Pro Sport
absolutely stunning.
On another level.
And obviously you've already shot that.
Yeah, that was pretty special.
A few weeks ago. Yeah.
But if you're after something a bit more traditional, if you're not into power swells, then
well, I mean, the XS has got a massive following, and you want something a bit unique, a bit different, a one-off, which are always popular because you think you're going to be one of only 100 people to own this particular gun.
Yeah, not making any more.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a real nice thing for a Browning lover who wants something a bit different,
absolutely,
but not too stand out. Good classic-looking gun.
100%.
I like that. I really like those engraved fins. The whole thing does look like it's got a custom Browning vibe to it.
No, absolutely stunning bit of kit.
Ian, it's a big year for the CPSA.
Yeah, very busy year for us, yeah.
World English is here again.
Absolutely, every couple of years it comes round.
What are we expecting this year?
Bigger and better, for sure. Obviously, new parts of the estate we're going to use. I think that's the main thing. More countries coming.
Awesome.
Over 2,000 people already booked on, sold out within 24 hours.
It was not that great for anyone who wasn't prepared, right?
Well, I think the preparation bit, but the answer is yes. If you weren't prepared, weren't ready, it sold out very quickly.
Awesome. And then we've got the usual British English Open, the sport traps.
Absolutely. So we've got our full calendar, very busy this year, and then we've got the British at the end of the season, obviously for us. And this year it's our centenary year for the British. We're holding that at Eaton Hall, newly.
That's going to be exciting.
Yes, yeah, with a new clubhouse, new facilities.
Yeah, I've seen they've invested a lot of money over there.
It's huge. I mean, it's great for the sport.
Yeah, right. It's nice.
Absolutely fantastic. And I think it'll be their target and goal is that it'll be one of the best shooting grounds in the country.
Certainly
if not,
looks that way.
Sid and Amy will probably say, no, Ian, correction, the best shooting ground in the country. So
it's a hard title to take, to be fair. There's so many grounds doing great work.
There are, and we're really lucky for that. It's great for the sport, and I think that's why our championships have grown and grown and grown. We've got some great grounds that we partner with.
And the CPSA is supporting that, right? The growth of those grounds to make us a more flagship sport in certain areas.
Yeah, most definitely. From when I joined, that was one of my goals. I look at our championships as our product.
I'm looking forward to seeing you at many of the events this year.
Brilliant.
Good luck. I love the fact you've got 4 of the best gun makers in the world. And when I say best, I mean makers of best guns. Osses, Rigby's, Wesley Richards and Holland. There.
Is phenomenal.
I mean, you could spend £1 million, like
in this little area,
and still not quite feel satisfied because you might want more. There's not many places in the world where you can do that.
Wesley Richards, some of the finest rifles you've ever handled.
Unbelievable. Happy British Shooting Show, mate.
Happy British Shooting Show, Johnny.
You having a good day?
So far, it's been a great day. Yeah, I confess.
We've got a nice gun.
We have indeed.
Is this Holland's first time here?
We have been here before, but not for many years. So it's nice to be back, representing the London gun trade, what we do best. It's great.
This looks really pretty.
So this is a very lovely example of a new Holland Royal Deluxe.
With some custom stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Some custom sort of Acantha style engraving with some lovely game scenes inlaid with gold, name and banner, a few little gold motifs in there. My favourite little hair on the floor plate, something a bit different.
You rang that out like an auctioneer. No one's going to understand what you just said, but that's a long version of the word. It's really pretty.
It's a lovely gun.
May
it's
I?
a lovely gun.
May I?
Absolutely.
12 gauge?
12 bore, 30-inch barrels, 3-inch steel shot proof gun. Teague's in there at the moment.
Look how thin them chambers are. This is a fine looking thing, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when we make our barrels as proper chopper lump barrels, we machine all the material down ourselves to the exact gauge we need it to be. There's a lot of waste in making best quality barrels. 3-inch steel shot proof.
That is remarkable. I mean, look at the chambers thinner than some barrels.
I mean, we're quite proud. We went through a very, very long stage of R&D to change the action and barrel material to keep the profile and the weight the same.
Which means you're having to beef up the quality of the material.
Exactly. So instead of just adding material to add strength, we changed material. It's a harder manufacturing process.
Yeah, I was going to say, much significantly harder to work hard metal,
100%,
right?
100%, yeah, exactly. But we are very proud. We can do any caliber shotgun bore in side-by-side or over and under, any chamber length, fixed or multi-choke, steel shot proof.
The whole thing is really stunning. The downside for me, not for you as the seller, is there's £180,000 plus VAT.
Just shy of.
But your great-great-grandchildren will be shooting it and still be equally proud of it.
100%.
It's nice, mate. Well done.
Very, very kind, thank you.
Hi, and we've just walked into the Teague stand. How are you, Ivan?
I'm very well, Bruce. Nice to see you again.
Really good.
Can't believe it's a year.
It is a year. This is an impressive new stand you've got for the show.
Yeah, we've invested this year. I mean, we're trying to up our game a little bit.
Nearly doubled your footprint.
We have, yeah, and it looks great. We've modernised. That's all we can do.
It is.
And the same back at our workshop as well. We're starting to modernise. We're just about to invest in some new machinery, hopefully to please our customers. I've got to apologise to our customers because we have had a bit of a year and we have got a bit of a delay on our product being produced and getting the deliveries out.
What's going to be the thought behind the new machinery? Just to modernise, speed up again and generate those orders as quick as possible and get the orders out to the customers as quick as they can, really. Well, by the looks of the stand, that seems to be your ethos for the year, is modernise, newer, better, faster.
Yeah, we listen to the customers, we listen to what they want, and we're trying to improve everything, really.
Now, I remember last year we spoke about, it's not just chokes you do. You do a fixed barrel gun, you do some back boring.
We do forcing cone polishing, chamber sleeving of old guns that have got ejection problems. We also lengthen chambers as well for the modern cartridge from 2.5 to 2 3/4 to 3 inch. But obviously they've all got to be proofed at the same time. So every time we work on a barrel, we have them proofed. And then the other end, we also do choke adjustments. So if you've got an MK38 trap gun, which is 3/4 and 4, we can open the choke up to whatever choke the customer wants. But obviously the fear of steel coming in the next few years, every gun's going to have to be proofed, opened up, and proofed for steel shot.
So this time we're looking at the 812 hybrid, so a new semi-auto for us. As you can see, probably the first thing that's going to shock you is the colour. So
It's like
burnt
a
bronze
Cerakote.
Cerakote. Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason we've gone with this colour, I found that in the pigeon hide, like your browns, your greens, just the traditional pigeon hide shooting, it matches in with that. But also, if you take it to a clay ground, it's not the obnoxious camouflage. That clay shooters seem to.
It does look cool. Like it's a nice, clean finish.
Yes, yeah. So, a few quick features. It's a hybrid gas system. The higher the cartridge you use, it actually closes the valves off. Okay. Basically, it needs a certain amount of gas.
It's got a
to cycle the
restrictor in
action.
there.
Yeah. So the bigger the cartridge you use, it will close some valves off to cycle. The lighter cartridge you use, it will open some of the valves up to take the gas in. In a very simple way. Rotating locking bolt head, enlarged features with the button and the bolt handle, and then underneath, forever on any semi-auto I've shot for years, my thumb always gets stuck when loading the gun. So we've scalloped out the side of the action here, just to give you a bit more space so you can load it just a bit quicker.
I tell you what, having one side cut rather than the whole thing scalloped out makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
I think we have these big recesses because that's what we see from the practical boys and the speed loaders.
Yeah.
But actually, we're not there for speed. It should be sometimes more about comfort.
Yeah.
Because you are thumbing it sideways.
Yeah, and gloves, they snag and all that type of things as well. So you just got a little bit more space just to get the cartridge in. It's like I say, it's not about practical speed and things like that. But you've got the, you don't have to.
Well, still leaving plenty of meat around your release button. So that's quite nice.
So 28 inch,
good looking gun.
Synthetic. It's just a workhorse for us.
And what, 500-600 quid?
549.
Really quite good value, isn't it?
5-year warranty. So it's just brilliant into the range to be our pigeon.
Sort of gun you should buy and not care about, just use a proper tool.
We've come into the port stand. It's bigger and better than ever.
It is. It's the biggest stand that we've had for the last probably 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. Yeah, lovely. Got most machines we've ever had here. Got a lovely trap tree here just behind as well, showing off plenty of traps. And
what is new for 2025?
So new for 2025, we've got some fantastic new traps. So we've got some left-hand reverse throwers. So we've got the new 6-column reverse, which will now do a 90mm as well. Ooh. So plenty of traps for the smaller clubs, but also some of the bigger ones who want to just throw one out there and have a bit more fun. And we've got the 90mm left-handed reverse as well, all ready for new this year.
And as on the clay range, what have I got in my hand? Is this new for this year?
This is new for this year. That was used last year at the British Open at Churchill's at Swinton for the first time in the UK, and that's our new lime green.
It does stand out. Look,
it stands out like a dream. It really is. It's fantastic.
You're going to be able to use that on most backgrounds. It's going to be a pretty easy target to.
Everyone should be able to hit that quite easily and quite openly and just smash it as much
Obviously,
as they like.
Last year, did you release the Eco?
We got the Eco GP24. It's gone really, really well. Used at the Olympic Games in Paris last year. We've also got behind us over there as well, we've got the actual trap that was used at the Olympic Games, one of the skeet sets that came over. So it's been brilliant to come and have a good start to the year.
Fantastic. All right, Chris, it was fantastic to see you this year.
You too. Thank you very much. We'll catch you soon.
If I was tired earlier, I'm feeling a little more now. We've seen even more stuff.
We're nearly at the end of the day and we've covered so much.
No. We've done about 23, 24 stands out of 211.
Wow.
We've done 10%, and we've not even done a fraction of each of the stands we've been on.
People are going to watch the video and go, I don't need to come there to see it. You need to be here, don't you?
You really do. Like, it's always worth a go.
It was spending time with my granddad and just this, toy reading.
And we've stopped into fine shooting accessories. This is Ash, and he's going to run us through
how we doing
some of their bespoke products that are all made in England and sourced from the finest leathers around the countryside.
Yes, so I mean, well, you see here we make a lot of our stuff in-house. We do have some outworkers as well that are UK based, but our focus is really on trying to create a quality product and also create something that's a little bit different. So you can style out, you've picked up the croc there.
What have I got?
You've gone straight for the croc.
I've gone for the crocodile.
Which is nice. And you know, you can basically come to me and say, look Ash, I've got a croc, I want a croc bag, I want it in pink or I want it in dark brown or whatever. We'll source those leathers for you and make exactly what you want, be it a bigger bag, a smaller bag, a gun slip, a rifle slip, all made to measure. So you get exactly what you want. You can spec down to stitch colour, trim, whatever you want. We do a lot of ostrich. the texture is really nice. So
It's
you'll
such
notice,
a supple leather.
yeah, it's supple. It's really hard wearing actually, which I think surprises people. So I've got a cartridge bag there that's been on about 125 days. Big days, loader's bag. It lasts. You know, I bring it to the shows to show people that actually you don't have to worry about the exotics. You know, they live in tough environments. The skins actually, if they're prepared well, are good. You know, we use the other thing that's probably a little bit different from some is you have a proper fleece lining as well. So it did once make a noise in the field.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, it's not synthetic, which probably means it pulls less. It's nice, you can feel the thickness and the depth of it as well.
It's really thick.
So it's going to protect what you want to protect, and yeah, I mean, you can customise anything.
We've got an array of different slips. We've got a zebra here, some fine English leather, lotus pouches.
Yeah, and the other thing I will mention as well, you're talking about different skins. One of the things that we do is use your skin. So if you've been to Africa, you've took plains game, you've took something bigger, as long as you import it properly, we get the right licenses, we'll take your skins and we'll make them into any of our products for you.
This is quite cute, isn't it? A 22410.
We're finding a lot of people, we're getting a lot of inquiries in this day and age for small gauge, long barrel guns. This is the brand new BR220 with a lovely Prince of Wales stock. You've got the nice engrave with a deep scroll engraving and a game scene. Obviously this is in the 410 30 inch, but you can get it in 12 bore, 20 bore, all the calibers, all the variations.
Is this on a 28 gauge action?
This is on a true 28 gauge action.
So you could have a twin barrel set which would future-proof it somewhat, although it's worth buying just for 5 years of fun.
I mean, what we're actually finding are people are going for these. They're having the 28 gauge barrel, but they're having a spare 410 barrel set with it.
Yeah.
And we're finding more and more people are going for that combination.
Well, why not, right? You get used to one stock, one grip, one fit, and the only thing that changes is the size
Point
of the
of aim. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, that's a really smart thing.
It feels lovely in the hand as well with the Prince of Wales stock, but you can get fully upgraded wood. It balances nice. It's multi-choked, steel shot proofed. It will do everything you need it to do, and it's coming in just over £3 at retail.
It's not a bad price, and having been over there and seen how these things are built, it's a quality product.
I think that's where the proof's in the pudding. I mean, I've been to a lot of factories in my time, in sort of 20 years in the trade, but what impressed me when I went to see Rosini, as you've seen yourself, was actual craftsmen and women stood at benches making guns.
Look, when you go to buy any different manufacturer, they've all got their own thing, their own approach. The Rosini approach is different to others.
Yeah.
It's still very much hand-fitted parts, like there's an awful lot of metal that comes off these things to go together.
Yep.
There's some that will like that, some that won't. For me, there's an art that goes into this gun. There's still a lot of gun-makey mystery.
Yes.
A lot of handwork.
Yes.
And that's nice.
And a lot of hand finishing. There's personal touches with it.
This, you're doing Great Powerbomb now, which you've done for a little while.
There's an association, I think, because the guys have dealt with companies in Spain and Italy for as long as they have. There's been an association.
Saddlebags of death. Cartridge saddlebags.
It's got to be the way forward, isn't it?
I think it's quite exciting.
Bucking Bronco, here we come.
I'd say £245 for Spanish leather hand finished isn't that bad. All their products are just lovely.
They are exquisite. They are beautiful.
Yeah, I do like their hunting boot. Extremely Spanish.
Very Spanish.
I can't pull that kind of thing off, but I do wish I could.
I'd like to see you try.
It's just nice stuff, isn't it? Like, it's very Spanish, of course, but
look, it's just catering for the guy or the lady that has everything, and what do you buy them?
Anyone can buy a cartridge magazine.
You want a John Wayne hip flask to go with your saddlebags.
I just bought a bag of gin. I don't want to say, there's a lot of interesting things here. The fact that you can buy, there's a company called Shots & Company, they make those shotgun cartridge flasks.
Slow gin, whiskey, whatever.
But you can't carry that in your pocket because it will bounce around, smash. But once you drink it, everyone was like, we like the contents, can you give us contents? And so they sell, it's called a refill, a reload bag. You empty the bag and switch it in. I'm like, I'm going to have that as a Capri Sun. I'm going to stand around and drink my bag of gin.
We've just dropped by the game ball stand at the British Shooting Show, and I've run into the infamous Dave Carey. How are you, sir?
Definitely infamous.
Definitely infamous. Have you been keeping well?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, lovely, thank you.
And how was your 24-25 game season?
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Had some good days, I think some fantastic days. I don't know what's going to happen with the season this year. The prices have gone up again. They seem to go up every year, but let's wait and see what happens. But
I've watched a few of your films, and some of those high birds that you've been slapping with the Game Boy cartridges have been phenomenal.
Well, the new UER is which are tested, proven cartridge now. A lot of lads are using it in the field. I know you get a few complaints about the dirt down them, but it's a cleaning problem that, which is easily overcome. Window lean and a few wet wipes. That sorts them out, you know. But they are one of the best killing cartridges I've used this season.
Well, you've got to be confident in what you use, don't you?
Of course you have, yeah.
And you've always thrown your confidence behind Game Boy, so.
Yeah. Well, listen, there isn't a lot to choose from between a decent cartridge till you get out in that field. Then you see what they do, you know. And we've got a lot of top lads shooting them now, and they all agree on one thing: they're killing out there. They're killing stuff that's in range, because we don't want to be going out of range.
That's right.
Stuff that's in range are one of the best killers in the cartridge world. So.
Well, thanks for taking the time to chat to us.
No problem, mate.
Dave.
No problem.
And we'll see you around the show over the weekend.
I hope so. Yeah.
Honestly, we've pretty much run out of time at this point. We haven't looked at any conventional optics. So I thought if we're going to do it, we might as well come to the best. Swarovski.
Yeah, here we are.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
Mate, I'm really good. Have you had a good day?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, it's been a busy day.
It was a lot of people in.
And it comes in waves, doesn't it? Like, you know, you just get like everyone comes on the stand at once, and then you get more people on the stand, and obviously more come to look at what everyone else is looking at. So, yeah.
It's been carnage out there, actually. It's been quite fun. What is new from Swaro?
So the big thing that we're doing on this show is the new Z8i Plus.
What is that?
So
I guss for those familiar with the Z8 range.
The Z8 range is the top of the range Swarovski scopes, but the Z8i Plus has got a 36mm tube. It's got a bigger eye box at the back, so it helps with eye relief. And it also gives you more, and the 36mm tube gives you more ability for adjustment in the reticule and
So
dialing.
this is an ultimate dual scope.
Yeah.
I guess the thing is, it's great for long range.
Yeah, so this
but it's also, if it's great for long range, it's also good for short range.
Yeah, but it's really aimed at the long range hunter. So in the UK, you're looking at people like us in East Anglia, which have got, you know, big, massive fields where you're going to shoot longer distances.
300 yards is quite possible.
Or you've got the Highland stalkers, obviously, or you're looking at international hunters, which are going to go for chamois in the mountains.
And 400 yards is quite normal.
Exactly. So for that reason, you've got an objective lens, which is the same size as the straight telescope, which we did a couple of years ago when it launched.
This is 56mm.
Yeah, and the main thing with this is it goes from 5 times magnification right up to 40.
I've got to have a look through that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. 40 times.
Yeah.
And still clear as day at that range.
Yeah. It's basically, you're eliminating the needs to take a spotting scope into the mountains. So rather than taking your rifle and a scope, binoculars, and a spotting scope, which is big and heavy, or not this one, but some of them are big and heavy, you just literally do all your spotting and judging of the animals through the rifle scope on your 40
spot it with a binos, go, that looks like a deer, set yourself up, 40 times zoom, that's a good enough buck, let's go, pop.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty smart.
There you go.
Pretty smart. It's just a nice extra touch, right? Pushing the limits of what a scope is capable of.
Yeah, exactly.
We are at the Wesley Richards stand at the Great British Shooting Show, and we're here with Struan. How are you, Struan?
Hi, good, nice to meet you.
Have you had a lovely day?
Yeah, I've
excellent. We've stopped by, and I've just noticed you're working on some interesting stuff here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
This is a personal project.
Okay.
So this is an old military Mauser action from Chile, and I'm just basically prepping the action for its future use, which I'm not 100% sure on yet, but I'm going to rebarrel it and turn it into a personal rifle. So
we know this one will be made with the ultimate utmost care if it's a personal project, but I imagine all of Wesley Richards' guns are to the highest quality of London gun making standards.
Yeah, well, of any gun making standards, we aim for the best. So
we're just off camera, we'd had a little bit of a chat about gun making apprenticeships.
Yes,
Wesley Richards. Do you want to run through some of the stuff there?
Absolutely. Our apprenticeship is a 5-year program, covers a whole range of gun making aspects, pretty much the whole process. At the moment we have 4 apprentices. We like to give them a well-rounded apprenticeship, so they'll learn different aspects all the way from making their tools when they start, all the way through the whole process to trying out different aspects until they are placed where they suit. It's basically in the best position that suits them for the job. We all do a wide range of things. No one is pigeonholed at Wesley Richards. So.
You sent me an Instagram of this gun, and yeah, it's pretty rad looking, isn't it?
Pretty freaking cool. So this is new Range XP from Weatherby.
307 action.
307 action, 2.0. 307 is Weatherby's new system.
Released last British shooting show, pretty much.
Tallest assembly of the bolt. I'll do just about here. So it's that quick.
Hey, that's pretty clever.
It's pretty cool. Do you need it? Well, if you drop it in a puddle, you do.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's nice to have.
It's a bit easier.
When you know the guys at Weatherby much better than I do, but I know them well enough. They're all hunters, right? They're all hard hunters.
They're all hunters,
and so they understand that something like that would end your hunt.
End your trip if you go out and you drop your arts like it's full of crap. Is firing pin going to hit the primer? What's going to happen? Whereas actually, be able to strip the bolt, pour some water over it, knowing that all right.
It might rust,
that'll do.
but it's not going to rust.
It might rust. Not going to rust by the time I have been and done my hunt and done it. So they changed the stock. This is the original XP here. This is a new one. Bit more in terms of a breakup pattern, not like a true camo, but certainly breakup pattern.
All hand painted like all the other Weatherbys?
All hand painted like all the other Weatherbys. They've done this super cool interrupted fluting.
Yeah, so what is that, right? This is my big question. Is it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Does it serve the same purpose as normal fluting?
Exactly the same purpose. The idea of the interrupted fluting, I mean, it's aesthetic. It reduces weight, aids cooling. It's different. Everyone when they did the twist fluting, I think probably first, and then a lot of people did it and they're like, okay, we'll do something a bit different. So they offered the interrupted fluting option.
It's very pretty.
It's very cool, very different.
And more importantly than all of that, is it's in a ridiculous caliber.
It's in a totally ridiculous caliber, but also one of the best calibers ever made ever.
Just ballistically speaking.
Ballistically speaking.
Because it's a small, efficient head with a friggin' load of powder.
Enormous cartridge, 257 Weatherby Magnum, 1 in 10 twist on this barrel. It's 100 grain plus 100 to 115 grain, going at close to 4,000 feet per second.
And
so it's literally 22
point blank range of what, 400 meters or something?
400 meters. I think they advertised with the factory ammo that if you 0.5 inches high at 100 yards, at 300 yards there is 0 drop.
No.
At 400 yards you're 1.5 inches. So it is truly a flat caliber. Everyone chases that flat dream caliber.
That is ridiculous.
This is actually it.
Flat.
Yeah.
But the payoff is obviously that it's hot. Right.
It's hot. It sits in terms of energy. It sits between a 270 and a 3006.
That's not so bad.
It's not ridiculous, but it's super flat. It's what everyone's chasing. It's 100 grain bullet. It's going super fast. It's not like a slow, heavy, bouncy cartridge. It hits, annihilates whatever it hits, and carries on. Which I'm looking forward to seeing your reaction when you start to use it, because you are going to be using it, Johnny.
There is
something coming.
Bit of a something coming with this gun. We've got a bit of a project, haven't we?
We've got a project coming.
A challenge.
Something different.
Then you sent me this and said, use this. I'm like,
use this.
This is probably one of the most ridiculous rifles I have ever.
And isn't that fantastic?
Going to have used.
I was like,
I mean,
let's get Johnny in a 257 Weatherby Magnum because it's like 50 plus years old as a cartridge.
And let's have it with a 26-inch
Cerakoted barrel. It's got a decent trigger, so it's a Trigger Tech trigger as standard in all of these. Mm-hmm. It's got your tools bolt, it's got your detachable magazine, free floating Cerakoted interrupted fluted barrel. It's threaded 1/28, which I've done on super tight to stop people nicking them at the show. Yes, people actually do that. Adjustable comb. You
could just ask for a free hat.
Could do. Or some matches.
Some free matches.
Some free matches. What a genius idea. Who thought of that?
So, well, that is a great idea.
Hang on.
There's been a lot of quite cool little merchy things today. This is the most like 60s, 70s, 80s thing.
I freaking love it. Well, it's in line with the another final approach from this one, Weatherby one's there as well. You're going to need the spaces. It does come with spaces. You'll be glad to hear. So it might actually be a rifle that fits
honeycomb
you.
thing.
No.
There's
some nice spaces that go in, so you might have a chance of not looking like you're shooting a child's rifle.
And all American made.
And all American made.
I am psyched.
100% in there. Yeah. Good. Me too.
I'm a little scared, a little intimidated.
I thought you loved a long action. You know, my thoughts on long
this
actions.
whole thing looks like you know what you're doing. You know me well enough with my rifle to know I don't.
I want to say, Johnny, it's been a pleasure. We've walked around.
Has. We've seen a lot of cool stuff. Guys, like I said, we're going to see so much more over the next couple of days. If you're not here, you missed out. This video is going to give you a taste. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to the British Shooting Show for having us and letting us roam around the place with a camera. This place has been fantastic as always. As I said, we barely scratched the surface with what there is to see here. Every stand we saw a product or two on has 100 more. If you're into shooting, whether that's clay, game, rifles, air guns, or just the ancillaries like working dogs, there's not a better place to be. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next year at the British Shooting Show.